IPOs, that's one pocket which hasn't done as well, and especially 2024, which was such a blockbuster year in terms of just the number of IPOs that came out and the quantum of money that was raised. And I'm talking about all fresh issues, not just IPOs. So maybe stand corrected there as well. But thereafter hasn't offered investors great returns. Mahima's here, breaking down what's happened in 2024 in terms of IPOs and what's the performance been like post that.
Right. So as you rightly mentioned, 2025 has not been a very great, has not started on a very good note when it comes to IPOs which were launched in 2024. Just to give context, around 91 companies came out with their IPOs in 2024. Around 1.61 lakh crore was raised, accumulated through all of these 91 companies. Now, out of these, and this is the highest ever in the history of, Indian markets, primary markets. Now, out of these 91 companies, in this market fall, 2/3 of the companies are trading below their listing day closing price. 2/5 of these companies are trading below their issue price. Considering in 2024, 72 companies were trading on a higher note than on the listing day gains. So the listing day gains was one factor, but even on that day, they gained beyond the listing day gain. And of them, 50 out of those 72 companies are now trading below their listing day close price. That means people who invested on the day when the company got listed are sitting on losses right now. In terms of the top 5 performers and top worst performers from these IPOs, in terms of top performers, KNR Heat Exchangers still are, the stock is still with a gain of 285 odd %. Jyoti CNC with a gain of 225 odd %. Bharti Hexacom with a gain of 136%. Premier Energies and Gala Precision Engineering with gains of about 110 and 87% respectively. But the worst performers of these 91 companies in terms of IPOs have been counters like Popular Vehicles, which is down by about 53 odd %, Bazaar Style Retail, which is down by about 48 odd %, Caro India down by about 47 odd %, and Western Carriers down by about 42 odd %. Lastly, Godavari Bio Fineries Limited down by about 42 odd %. So this is the overall view as to how we've seen a kickstart of IPOs. Companies started kickstart of IPOs in 2024, but this is what has happened to all of those companies in 2025.
Clearly not finding flavor since those listing day gains. Nirav, Ashar, if I can ask you a quick question on this entire frenzy around IPOs. Of course, far and few at this point of 2025. But what's the sense like? Is that been one pocket? And I'll refer to actually what Mr. S. Narain also said in his little piece that he did, which has gone viral. He suggested that the risk has transferred from balance sheets of banks to personal balance sheets and from loans to actually equity. Do you believe that that has been the case in 2024, and is that also part of the reason why the performance isn't reflecting?
Well, actually, if one were to look at the IPO story, then I think there was a lot of irrational exuberance which we saw. In many cases, it was very difficult to justify the valuation also. But of course, investors are also just concerned with the grey market premium, and there was a kind of a mad frenzy in the markets. So I think the story did continue for a while, and I think, of course, now we have the reality check, and what we see is that the reality which has set in. So I think most of these stocks are also trading below their issue price at this point of time, as we pointed out in the statistics. I think this exuberance is likely to die down in the near future, and as we see the reality check. And regarding the other part which you said, that the risks have shifted from the balance sheet of banks to the balance sheet of individual investors, then I think it could be true to a certain extent, because we are seeing that a lot of investors have entered at very crazy valuations. And now, of course, we are seeing the reality check for the markets.